Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Stocks. In today's videos, we are going to talk about saving more money. Since today is Sunday, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well as press that amazing subscribe button. It does go a long way in supporting the channel, and I do thank every single one of you guys because you guys are freaking amazing. Don't forget to comment down below which ways you are trying to save money. What is your to-do list in order to save money, because knowledge is key, and we are here in order to help each other out and not put ourselves back. And don't forget, at the end of the week on Friday, I will be giving away dividends, so definitely comment down below. Now, as a recap of what we did last week and what we said last week, the 5 tips on how to save, we talked about the number one thing being self-disciplined, because that is very, very important. Because if you're not self-disciplined, then no one else could save you money, right? And obviously, importantly, we are doing this for your future, and we are doing this to have an emergency fund, to be debt free, to make sure what you have as an income is greater than what you have as an outcome. So definitely keep that in track. Have a whiteboard in your room, because that plays a huge role in being self-disciplined. Now, another thing that I do want to talk about is how to since this pandemic started, it has been a little bit crazy. Technically started before March last year, but it started a little bit less than a year ago, and everyone got sent home. Now, there is, a positive thing on this thing, right? There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and the way that you should think about this pandemic for yourself, or the way that I was thinking, is save more money. You're technically going out less, which then in return saves you more money, right? So there's a few ways in which you can save your money in a pandemic, which then you could create and make more things as you go further into the future. I did find this article very interesting. Step one in which they have is, let me zoom in for you guys. Step one is, instead of letting anxiety get the best of you, do the math, right? Take a minute, write down your expenses per week on a spreadsheet. Honestly, you could do that on any paper, right? And don't forget none. Sometimes we're embarrassed to tell people how much we're spending per month, but you shouldn't be embarrassed of yourself to write how much you're spending, right? Write down how much you are spending and see some ways in which you can cut those spendings down, which then you could save more money, right? The one thing, if everyone is working from home, the number one thing you're saving is gas, right? You're spending less money on gas, therefore you have a little bit of chunk to put into your savings account. The number two that you have, saving in this pandemic is going out to restaurants. I don't know about you guys, but every single time that I would be at work, I would go out for lunch. Meaning each day I would be spending $12 for, a lunch. 12 times 5 would equal $60 a week, right? $60 a week, $240 a month. That is incredibly high. Like, I am glad that I was able to stop going out so much when I work, because that money would just go straight into my bank account, or stay in my bank account more. But that would just have me save more money in return. So that's a huge thing. Make sure that you're able to look at your expenses and you're able to see, what, do I really need Netflix and Hulu at the same time? Do I really need those two things, or can I survive with just one? Because as long as you can survive with one, and say, for example, you save the money from the other one and you're able to pay off your credit card, that is amazing, right? That is just huge, and that is just amazing returns that you would get. But once again, you have to be self-disciplined when it comes to looking into how much you are spending each month. And one of the things that you could practice with is, currently everyone got $600 from the pandemic relief. Yes, I get it. Last time, they gave a little bit more, but 600 is great as a starting point. One of the things, if you already used the $600, what did you use it with? right? I don't want to say there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, did you use it for a good thing, or did you go out there to spend it, you know, in shoes or in clothes? Because that's not very smart, right? And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so do not take my words as advice. Go to your financial advisor and go ask them what you should do with those $600. But in my case, what I did, right, is if I had credit card debt and it was under $600, I would just straight away pay it off. Because the fastest way for you to take control of what, you know, your financials is get rid of that debt, right? Since you got the $600 and you're able to pay off that debt, congratulations, you're one step ahead, right? Now, if you don't have any credit card debt and you still have those $600, the best way you could do is put it in a savings account. Don't leave it in your checkings, because it's super easy for you to take it off, right? There's tons and tons of savings accounts out there that you're able to put it in, and it gets you a higher return rate. So definitely go out there, do your research, and put that money in there. Forget about it, but you still have it, obviously, right? Forget about it, and you're gonna get a high APY back. You're gonna get returns, right? For every $100, for every $1,000, you're gonna get a certain percentage back. Now, there is one thing that I do want to say about debt, and here's an average. Let me zoom in for you guys. Here's an average debt per age, as you can see right here, age 18 through 29. Auto loan, credit card, you know, anything debt, a total of $23,000, $24,000 between the age of 18 to 29, right? That is pretty high. But as you get older, you tend to have more and more and more and more debt. Obviously, that takes into consideration the mortgage and all that stuff. So definitely see how much in debt you are. All right, so going back into the savings things, there is this savings account that I have obviously not being paid for or by to mention, but definitely take a look into this, because this gives you a huge APY in return. And I'll make a video about this next week, because I definitely think that it will help a lot of people save more money. But definitely take a look into this. Now, another thing that I do want to talk about into getting rid of your debt and saving more money, it's the credit score. We are also dealing with the credit score, because credit score is everywhere. If you're trying to take a loan out, they deal with your credit score. If you're trying to go into an apartment, they deal with your credit score. You know, anything in general, credit score is always there. Now, I'm not saying that credit score is everything and you need to focus everything on your credit score. No, but you do have to understand, keeping your credit score in a good range could make a huge difference between getting a higher interest rate or a lower interest rate, or, you know, a bigger loan or a less loan, etc., 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 right? The average FICO score in America is 695, which is in the good, well, it's technically in the fair area, as you can see right here. But obviously, as you get better with saving money, as you get better with getting out of debt and credit card debt being less, you're able to go further and further into the excellent. Now, you do have to, you know, use the credit cards smart, and don't just, you know, spend, you know, on your credit card because you have $25,000 in balance, you know, or you know, you have a range of $30,000. It doesn't mean you should use it, right? You shouldn't, because the higher you have in your credit score and your credit card, you know, the more you could spend on it, the worse you could fall into the hole of debt. So definitely be careful with credit cards, because it is a huge player in the credit score. All right, that was today's video. Hopefully you guys liked it. Don't forget to drop a like in this video, as well as press that amazing subscribe button. Comment down below what ways you are doing or implementing in your life in order to save more money, and I will definitely take a look, and maybe that would help someone else in the chat as well. So definitely share that knowledge with other people, because it does make a huge difference. And don't forget that I will see you guys next time on Coffee and Stocks.